Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's Adam with ND72. So today we got my E55. So last time on the channel with the E55 I did my secondary heat exchanger, which made a pretty effing big difference. But now we're going to do a little bit of an upgrade and some maintenance and hoping fixing one little problem I got with the E55. So since I bought the car, every once a year I had a little slippage of the transmission. Now it happened a little bit more often. So I diagnosed it. Basically what I'm 90% sure it is one of my solenoids. So what I did, so inside the conductor plate and all that stuff, you have 6 solenoids. You got 3 shifting ones, 2 that are line pressure, and 1 that's a transmission torque converter lockup. So what I got here is basically your standard solenoids. So your 3 shifters, which are 1 to 2, 2 to 3, so on and so forth. And then your torque converter lockup solenoid. And then here's the fun upgrade. Tons of people do these. I don't have it on this car, but I got some blue top solenoids. So these are the upgraded ones. They're supposed to make it harder line pressure, shift faster. Supposed to be all in all a better solenoid. And then I got some fluid, filter gasket, and then I got 2 spare bolts just in case I strip one, because I've seen that happen before. And I want to just have at least 2 spare in case I F it up pretty bad. But I got all this, these solenoids from fcpeuro, and then all these blue tops. I got them at a killer deal online. You could buy these all over from fcpeuro and everything. I got them for literally pennies on the dollar, brand new from a Hemi guy. So that's the main reason I pulled the trigger, or I was probably going to wait off a little bit. So we're going to show you how to install these. I wanted to do a before and after shot, but it was raining so much here, and I wanted to get this done. And it slipped out of gear one time, so I'm just going to show you some old footage. Maybe I'll put it in right around here. And I'll try to put in some more footage in after we do this, but I'll take you for a test drive after. But let's start getting into it. It's a pretty simple job. Alright, so we're going to start really simple. Just undo the drain plug. And then this is going to be a little bit hot, so be wary about that. And we're going to see what quality of fluid is coming out of here. Hopefully it's not jet black. This should still be red. Alright. It's a little brown, but it still smells like transmission fluid, so I probably needed this. So now we're just going to let it drain all down and go from there. 6 bolts over here. There should be a T30. Break them loose by hand, and then I'm going to take an electric ratchet to loosen the rest of the way. I don't want to use impacts on this because you don't really want to break anything or pull any of the threads out. Maybe an extension would have helped because I'm pretty close to this hot exhaust, but it is what it is. Oop, I think I just, oh, there you go. Alright, now that you got them all broken loose, I'm going to get my little electric ratchet, and how I do it, I usually do the outside first. That way it can kind of bend forward. There's still going to be oil in the pan, and it's probably going to be hot. And then I usually just let this sit for a while, let it drip all out. Get this pan out of the way. So this is going to just keep dripping everywhere, and then you're going to pop the filter down and more is going to drip out. So I'm going to go trash this filter, leave this bucket under here for a little bit, and then start doing that valve body and the NAG plug. Alright, so we're going to kind of examine the trans pan, because if I had any big issues, I would have had metal in here. We're going to clean this whole thing out, but I don't really see any shiny metal in there. And then here's one of the magnets. As you see, usually when they're bad, it's going to look like a cactus or something. That's really not bad at all. And this one had 2 magnets in it. And there's no big chunks of anything, just normal debris. But we're going to clean all these off at the end. So we'll wipe all this down and soak it all off, but it's looking pretty good. Nothing, just a little bit. That's standard. A little bit of clutch material, but no chunks, nothing really bad. So pretty good. Alright, so next we have to start taking the conductor plate out. So, before you even do this, it's a big thing. You got to remember to take the NAG plug out. So right up here, you see it? You're going to pull down and hope that there's no oil coming out. Alright. Not really that bad. There's a little bit. I might have to go look to buy another plug soon, because there's a little bit of oil there. So we're going to clean that off, and then this should be a 7. So it's going to be a 7 mil and only use a 1/4 inch drive and be very careful not to break it or you need a new valve on. So that's the NAG plug that's coming out. This is a transmission connector. I really should have ordered another one. I just 100% completely forgot. But the gaskets don't look too bad. I'll monitor it. But now we can start getting, I'm going to put this to the side, make sure I keep it clean. And then I'm going to start getting the tools to start taking the conductor plate out. It should be a T30, and I'm going to show you which ones to do. All right, so we're going to start taking the bolts out. And just do them by hand at first. No power tools. Make sure you don't strip them or anything like that. And just start popping them loose. So I'm going to have to try to remember where they all are, because I haven't really done this job in a while. That's one. And then you got them over here. So you are going to get dripped on a little bit. So now I got them all broken loose. Should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. Let me just verify that they're all loose before, because once I start whizzing them out, this is going to get really heavy and dump a lot of oil all over the place. So I really should have my bucket under here. But I'm just being lazy. See how water's coming out now? I'm going to grab the bucket. So another Tibble trick, leave the center runs until the end. I don't know if you heard that, leave your center ones until the end. So this is where you're going to get real messy because you're going to push it up and start getting these out. You might want to back up. Alright, so mine have the plastic cover still on them. They come off pretty easily, it just pops off, and then we're going to start replacing one set of solenoids at a time. So if you can see right over here, they have a little retainer that holds these two solenoids down, and we're going to pull them off and hopefully find like something crazy. Oh, that's a little tight. I really don't want to put an impact gun on this though, but alright, there we go. So when we break it loose, then you can kind of whiz it. And this impact, or this electric ratchet is pretty weak. So we're going to put that down and do one solenoid at a time. I think I'm too slippery. Since these solenoids are trash, I'm going to get some pliers and pull them with. I might have grabbed like the world's longest pliers. Yep, that's not going to work. Don't use vice grips if you're going to reuse your solenoids. There you go, came right out, so we'll examine it a little bit. It doesn't really look like there's any issues with them, but we're going to replace them anyways. So we're going to match up our part numbers. So this one should be the torque converter lockup solenoid, unless mine are put in the wrong spot, but that's the one this should be. And then this is the brand new one, so the part number is right here, A240-271700. That should be the torque converter one, and I think it actually says, nah, it just says a regulator. But when you pull it out of the bag, you'd actually even see it resembles the same thing. Make sure your O-ring came out. See how this has an O-ring? I don't see any damages, just this is missing the shield, so throw a new one in there. Open up bag. So it's comparing the one I just took out to the old one. The only difference I see is this one has like a little protective thing. That might have been what was wrong with that one. And I'm examining my conductor plate. I don't see no real issues. So we're going to pop this one right back in and just keep moving one at a time, so we don't mix anything up, and make sure it's seated in there pretty good. And then we'll pull this one out. This should be a normal shifting one. I don't remember if it's 1 to 2, 2 to 3, so on and so forth. But we'll examine it. I don't see anything really wrong with that one. And then this is the part number for those. The next 3 should be the same part number. So here's what it looked like what I pulled out, and here's the brand new one. I don't know if the brown and black really mattered, but we're going to make sure we still have the O-ring so we don't double O-ring it, and then push this one right back in. So they fit in there snug, and then we'll do reverse. We'll put this part right back in. And I'm just doing one at a time so I don't mix anything up. And I'm hoping that they weren't already mixed up from some crackhead reason. Now, don't use electric stuff to tighten it. Do everything by hand. And the only reason I'm not doing a conductor plate, because this conductor plate is relatively new. It's from fcpeuro, so I don't really have any worries that it's broken. The codes and the symptoms I was getting were all shift solenoid related stuff. It wasn't anything like turbine input speed. Alright, so now we're going to do these. We'll do one set at a time, like I said. And then I'll go and tighten everything up at the end. So I broke that loose. It's a little repetitive at this point, but just go slow. And don't get your glove stuck. So that one wasn't really even in that well. Nothing really crazy in there. Nothing in there. We'll pull this one out. Not seeing anything too damaged with any of these. But there might be just something internally damaged that I just can't see. That way we're going all new. And all this stuff is relatively cheap. Make sure there's no debris, no nothing. Pop in. As you can see, same things. Pop right in, and then I'm actually going to pull this off and double check this tightness really quick. Yep. Click, click. We'll leave those off to clean them. And now the last one. So these, I'm not seeing any aggressive amount of wear. Bollocks. And they're pretty good. Now we're going to take these. And what I'm actually kind of noticing, I don't know, I'm pretty sure brown were the non-upgraded. So these might have been bad anyway, so I just bought them. So I'm going to keep these and check the part numbers. Because I might already had the upgraded solenoids, and I'll just use these for a different car. Yep, exact same part number. So ironically, I already had the upgraded ones, so I won't feel a difference, but hopefully this will fix my issue. And I got them at such a killer deal, but that just means I can put those on my SLK. All pushed in. I don't know if I really will use these, because if you see, this one didn't even have the cover on it. So I might trash these. We'll see if I keep them or if I want to do an experiment with them. I'm just going to double check our tightness. Alright. I'm going to keep these two solenoids. I might put them in a different car. Or I want to get them tested first to see if they were bad, because this car was having a little bit of issues. So let's get some stuff off the table, or at least moved over, and then spray this down. We're going to get a rag, wipe it down, let it all flip over. Alright, so next I'm just going to clean all this stuff off and then do everything in reverse order and hopefully fix my issue. And we'll take the car for a spin and show you what it actually looks like, that blue top solenoids. Alright, let me start putting it in. So now that we got it all ready, we're going to start filling up. So to fill it up is right over here. So this is for your motor oil. This one is for your transmission. So normally you have a red little lock. You pop the lock off, pull it out, and then get your funnel. Shove your funnel in there, boop, and then start filling it up and go nice and slow. This should be roughly 4 quarts. I always buy 6, just in case. So all you do is just start filling it up, one at a time. Alright, so we put about 5/4 in, 5/4 came out. We're roughly like a quarter quart low. So we're going to check it with just the dipstick. It's the Mercedes dipstick. It goes for multiple vehicles. And we're going to see if it's low or not. So we're pretty good. We're gonna go drive it for a little bit, go get all cleaned up, and hopefully it fix my problem. All right, so we've been driving the car around. It's not doing what it used to do. So what it used to do was you would slow down and kind of give it some gas and it would be slipping out immediately. I'll try to reenact it right here. Like it would used to be like it used to slip out right there. So it's not doing that anymore. It's staying in gear. So we'll try to go in this nice little spot in Mexico, try to do a full pull, and make sure it'll actually shift and go through all the gears really quick. All right, so we're gonna try to do a pull over here in Mexico. We're gonna do a quick little just ESP 20 pull first gear and see if it slips and goes all the way through. That went really well. So not bad. I think we fixed the problem. The car is shifting actually a lot faster than it was before. All right, so we got the car pretty much heated up. We're here in Mexico. We're gonna try to do a few more pulls and we'll just kind of see what happens, go through some gears. As you can see, the car is doing pretty good. Hey guys, as you saw in the video, the E55 is now shifting perfectly, so I must have some sort of solenoid issue. Mainly the codes I was getting would be like 1-2 slip, 3-4 slip, and I was getting 1 or 2 other random codes, and when I looked it up and all that stuff, it was 100% solenoid because I was watching the live data. We were having issues with a few of them. So the car is running perfectly now. You saw how fast it's shifting. That's granted, it's not like a super modern day like dual clutch shifter, but for a 20-year-old transmission, this thing shifts pretty good, and the only modifications done to the transmission is the Vtech TCU and just blue top solenoids. So are there better TCUs out there? Yeah. Could I also do valve body? Could I do all that stuff? Yeah, I might do that in the future, but my plan right now for transmission related stuff is maybe I go to the track one day and I order, like, I think TJ also makes a TCU, and I'll sit there and compare, you know, literally day to day. I unplug, put in. That's what I'm planning to do a little bit with the car. I still want to take it back out to the track and see what it runs. Hopefully it'll be a low 11-second car, maybe a 10-second car. I don't really know, but the car is doing well. Seems to be going quick, and yes, I'm getting a lot of people asking about the wheels. So right now I have the 16 inches on there. People are asking me to do a 15-inch conversion because I've done it on quite a bit of my other cars, my SLK and all that stuff. So I might be doing one of those, but I got a lot of other things in the background that I'm working on, a few other new cars and stuff like that, as you see. So hope you guys liked the video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, like button, throw a comment down, and I'll catch you guys later.